Hey everyone! Seeing as how we are just hours away from the debut of the Lost Tapes, depending on which time zone you're watching this in, and by the time you see this. So, as I mentioned, I thought I would give my thoughts on what I have seen before, though it's been a while, and looking for a time to talk about it for a while now, and now the time's upon me. So now that it's been finally shown again, which they don't really do very often, here are my thoughts on 2015's regular show, The Movie. So let's begin. The movie first saw release in the year 2015 and was something that took place chronologically, at least in the present storyline, between the sixth and seventh seasons, and hence they're showing in between them during like the big marathon of the entire show. I honestly think the way the approach makes sense, where in the not just in future, her her Mordecai and Rigby's friendship is shattered to where they pit against each other in galactic combat, whereas their former her gym teacher turned supervillain Helen is planning to use a time NATO to who obliterate the fabric space and time to know it. So they have who go back to their past lives in high school or in order to who make peace with the incident from their past, as that inadvertently ended up forming a catalyst to their characters, and of course, there's much of humor, and games abound. So it definitely sees both the cast as well as series creator J.D. Quintel returning, with the latter being not only the director's chair but also the voice of Mordecai and the High Five Ghost, among many others. The movie is a tight 92 minutes, and it was definitely a lot of absurdist comedy in there, as like the show's based on. But also, given how JJ's background and working on Flapjack, it is definitely comics rooted in specific character archetypes. And even though there's been a lot of discourse about how Mordecai and Rigby fare here as co-workers along as friends, I think it works because they're functionally like a great many cartoon characters, two sides of the same coin, a dyad. I mean, whether it's one or the other or both of them getting into shenanigans, either to who buy a game they want or to try some new delicious snack treat. Or in this case, trying to prevent the whole universe from being quite literally blown away. A one rarely has worked without the other. Her especially say this as someone who got on the ground floor of the show alongside one of my associates, Jim Gisriel. Oh, I know why it makes sense to do the revival now. Hell, because the original one's still quite popular with both people of my demographic, but also with kids as well, given how they still show the original one very frequently. Yes, that's a demographic. Get over it. And even the animation, while similar in style to the show it spun off from, actually goes a bit bigger. Even though it never got a wide theatrical release, there was like a token one to qualify for certain conditions from the MPA, I think. I'm not sure how well it would have done if they had gone on a wide theatrical release, which is something they've done very sparingly compared to Nickelodeon or Disney, and especially since the days of the whole having these TV movie cartoon pipelines as long behind us. As but the space battles, lots of parallels to Wars and Trek, and also Mordecai's ship looking like a cross between the craft from Defender, her, or at least one of the Vipers from Battlestar Galactica with a different paint job, and Also, how the designs of their spacesuits look quite interesting. Like how at one point and he Mordecai lost his hand and had to replace it with the a maximum glove made by some manufacturers even. And I also think it's another one that compounds what the show itself is doing, since it is canon to the show itself. I mean, because fairly early on they established like a running gag of Rigby being an underachiever, ever to the point where he never finished high school like Mordecai did. Though as the show progresses, he definitely makes efforts to start making something of himself, up to and including getting his equivalency degree. He and this movie also explains why he never finished. I mean, as I'm not going to say why. I just say haven't seen it, and for someone who hasn't seen it, but let's just say it involves all of the science lab being blown up to an incident with some ill-gotten plutonium, and my high school class could not get the liquid nitrogen for the experiments because they didn't have a place to store it. I cannot say they had it since that time frame. As for how it relates to the revival, I can honestly say that as someone who has seen every episode of the original show more than once, including with this marathon, which is winding down, I think it's definitely the right call to set the Lost Tapes before the event's final two seasons. The main things I want out of the new show is for it to be good. I'm also not against a reconciliation with CJ, especially given how he agreed that he could just be friends with Margaret, the Cardinal, and we do at least. And last time we even see CJ that she's working as like a crossing guard, or for school children, and especially since he and then after the time jump becomes a conceptual artist and starts dating a Batgirl. Try helping that for tax write-offs, Warners. Overall, I can say that Regular Show the movie is among the pantheon of GTV films and Cartoon Network's canon. Definitely among the best things about the show, and I certainly am open to once again am watching this, especially since I ended up DVRing it alongside my other with the rotation of One Piece and Dawn to Dawn. And as for the Lost Tapes, I will definitely be giving my first impressions on it after the first 5 or so episodes have debuted. If they want to do close enough, I'm also okay with that as well. I'll say if Adult Swim wanted to revive that one. Like, the humor's similar there, albeit with looser censorship and the main characters are humans instead of park animals and inanimate objects. That's all for now, and I will see you all again very soon. I have unfinished business with another animated show, so take care.